I mean, on that season though, him and Casey win 5 eliminations on that season, and he
That's pretty
literally is
baller.
he is the star of the show. Fun fact about that: I saw an interview, and they were talking about that season and everything, and I think, or maybe it was like behind the scenes. Yes, maybe it was like behind the scenes, and Wes apparently said to like Theo and like the other vets was like, you know what's really cool is that when they tune out the show on MTV, none of you guys are even going to be really on the camera because you guys are making it all about me. You're making it about me going to elimination. You're making it about me trying to beat everybody. And I'm doing the drama. I was like, this show's about me. And he says, when I said that, I didn't go into the next 2 eliminations. Like he
Oh
gave
yeah,
me some
that
time.
definitely sounds like his ego.
But like, yeah. And then
Sounds about right.
apparently Theo Vaughn was like, yeah, this is going to be all about you. Speaking of which, Theo Vaughn, that guy is skyrocketing right now, man. Like social media, TikTok.
Absolutely.
Doesn't he have like a Netflix special coming out?
Several.
He has a podcast I listen to, and he's on
2
TikTok.
podcasts, and both of them are really, really successful.
He's so funny.
He's one of those guys that has transcended the challenge to such an obscene degree that not a lot of people have. You know, him, The Miz, CT is, I know he's done a couple of films before, but the next film based on the Most Dangerous Game is a really, really legit production. So, you know, congrats for him and congrats for everybody doing stuff outside of the challenge.
Cara and Paulie's Christmas movie just hit DVD stands maybe a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
Oh, I did not know that. I got to check that out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was something in Vines.
I don't think they're not the mains in it, but they went like on the cover of the actors' names. They're number 3 and number 4 on the cover.
That's not bad. That's like mid billing, not top billing, but like mid. You guys ready to kick this off?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go ahead and bring it in. Okay, I got an idea. Yeah. Why don't you lead the discussion? There's only a couple of things from this episode I want to talk about. So why don't you go ahead and kick it off? We'll just bounce around. We'll just
I can't believe you just said that to me.
What?
Drop it all on your head. You're the one that wanted to do All Stars.
I thought that's what we're doing.
Go ahead. I'll follow your lead.
No. I don't know why this is a thing that we're doing and everything. Why is that a thing? Oh,
I'll be honest, I don't remember the episodes well enough.
Okay, so the house is partying, and Nehemiah solidifying. You guys need me so much.
No, for real though. But they are the 3 kings, and they're living in the king's palace. And
right. And this is episode 5. So they're just now like really solidifying it. And then in the A block we get Tina talking about her anger, and Melinda talking about her stillbirth. Now, I thought that was really great for Melinda, for a lot of us to hear. You know, everybody has a challenge. Everybody has their Instagram accounts and this, that, and the other. And I really thought Melinda's story brought a lot of levity to the situation. An air of seriousness and, you know, why she's here. And those are stories that we don't get a lot on the challenge. So I was actually really, really moved by that. And I was also really moved by MJ and Johnny being there and just listening to her and supporting her. And this is one of the things that All Stars is doing really, really well. They're really bringing a humane element and a relatable element to the show. And I find myself really, really moved during a lot of parts of this episode. And this was one of the main ones. So go them. How did you guys feel about Melinda explaining some of the stuff that she was going through?
I mean, it's such a big thing for women to have to talk about when something like this happens. And you're watching, especially, you know, the passing of a child. It's devastating. So most women that I know don't necessarily want to talk about it, period, much less in a public forum. And the questions that come along with that, it's a hard thing for women to have to deal with and to express. And watching, you know, MJ and, you know, them just kind of show her so much love and affection and really kind of make her feel comforted in just with the whole situation. And I think this is just a new side to Melinda, because a Melinda that we knew before was not one that we had a lot of sympathy for. So this newer kind of shows her a little bit more humanized, if anybody saw way back when she was on prior seasons.
What I think is really cool about this is it humanizes these people. I say this all the time. I think it's nice to kind of show these moments and let them be vulnerable with the audience viewing. Granted, I think at times MTV uses stuff and Paramount, whatever, to their own benefit, because it makes good TV. But the challengers have to kind of know that and everything. So good on her for opening up. I'm not saying she shouldn't have. Good on her for opening up. Yeah. Okay. I'll kind of jump in now. Okay. I'll jump in. You start us off. I just wasn't ready and everything. So let's move on to the next part. I'm going to move on to the next part. I got you. And we're going to talk about, we go to this daily challenge.
You didn't even introduce us. You didn't even do the intro.
Because he's going to introduce us when we get to the next part. It's cool.
Are you all right there, Malik?
Oh, we're down the wrong hat. You guys need an introduction?
What's really good, guys? This is Tyler doing a little Tyler takeover, hitting us up with our intro. I'm also known as Lord Louder on social media. That is MTV Malik. And as he always says, the best of us, this is Becky. Also known as she knows everything about everything. Social media. I do not. And drama.
Oh, social. I was going to be like, social media I'll do. About. I was like, you know everything about everything.
Nah,
I don't know.
I know everything about something.
You know, I'm so used to driving. It's kind of nice to sit in the passenger seat once in a while. Take it away, Lord Louder.
Shotgun and buckle up.
Well, can we talk about the Three Kings a little bit?
Yeah,
and how...
yeah, no, 100%. Okay. Jump on in.
I'm going to say this about the Three Kings. Love it. I love everything about this. You got three fucking misfits doing their goddamn thing. And I'm seeing them getting a lot of hate. Oh, I don't like Nehemiah this season. Motherfucker, when did you ever like Nehemiah? When did you ever like Nehemiah? It's funny because, you know, a whole bunch of black people get into an alliance and start making a move or two. And there's a lot of pissed off people who never gave Nehemiah, Latarian, or Tech a second fucking thought. I mean, granted, LT and Tech have been gone for a long time. But you know what? If this is pissing you off more than it probably should, you probably got some stuff to look inward to yourself.
I mean, Nehemiah's been made fun of for years because of his lack of drama. And he came into it very similar to, like, Leroy came into his last season. He's like, I'm freaking sick of losing. This is, you know, I want to win. And the same thing that happened with Sarah. What was it? It was Battle of the Exes when she was with Jordan. She's like, I am going to win this season and I will do whatever I have to win. So I think that he's finally putting his smarts. I mean, he's not dumb. He's a very smart guy. So he's really kind of putting his brains into it and hoping that he can connive and mastermind his way through.
The thing about it is Nehemiah has always been anti-establishment, always anti-Evan, anti-them. And now he's playing the game. And if you're going to be a winner at this...
It's kind of the same way in the real world as well. A little bit. That's like who he is, to a T. Sorry. I didn't mean to
No, go ahead, continue. I was done.
I mean, he was the ultimate good guy. He was the ultimate, you know, you're the big bad bullies and I'm going to take you down.
I don't know if people don't like Nehemiah.
I noticed.
I remember watching Real World Austin, and maybe like I have a special connection with that Real World because like one of the first ones I actually like watched through and everything. And like
one of the greatest seasons.
Like I was even a fan of Danny on the challenge. Like I even used to be like, he's just upset right now. Like I used to like defend Danny, like and like Rachel. You know, she's just it's hard in the sand and everything. I used to defend all of them, like because I love that season of the Real World. And for me, what's nice is when you see people on the bottom. Instead of letting it be just a pecking order that, you climb the ladder to the top, they're going to work together to prevent that from being an automatic thing. And if it is an automatic, because you need somebody to work together, especially with how way life shields work. Granted, it looks like they're going to get burned every episode, which is okay. We'll talk about that when we get to elimination, because I don't think somebody should have burned it the right way. But yeah, so then let's go ahead and jump into this daily, which I believe is called Bounce Back.
You got it.
Challengers have to get up on trampolines, which I think is very weird considering, I'm at that age where I'm starting to feel weird about my knees, but I got people that are older than me and now they're jumping. I'm like, I'm worried about their knees. And they got to jump, 5 different trampolines to get to a high point to knock off 3 rotating blocks, all with numbers on them to solve an equation back on the beach. We see Casey try and do this, and then turns out it was a fluke. Her win. She's back to being Casey. And she just quits the challenge.
Back to the same old Casey.
I'm done. But I will say, good on her for actually doing the jump, because that was a high jump and she didn't back down. We see Tech kind of freak out and get mad. Like Tyler did really well. Tech gets mad because he couldn't get the math equation and it probably cost him a lot of time. We see Steve try and do I thought, a very smart tactic of knocking off 2 at a time.
Even though they specifically said you can only do 1 at a time.
Well, they said you only can bring back 1 at a time is what I took that as. It's kind of, I've heard somebody say it on the challenge. You can do 2 things. You can ask them to explain the rules even more, or you can just do something, and if they punish you afterwards, they do. So I think knock them both down, and then it should be quicker to get them.
I don't think Steven was smart enough for that, though.
It drifted off far away.
Into the ocean with the current.
It ended up hurting him and costing him.
Yeah.
There's not much else from this, because, to be honest, for me,
I think Jasmine took a bad fall.
Yes. And Melinda also got hurt in this, which I think
she did.
I think I feel like she's been hurt almost every season she's been in. I mean, probably not, but it just seems like that way.
I was like, I don't think she was hurt on fresh meat.
I don't remember what was said, but I remember Tina saying something really funny on the trampoline.
Oh, because Tina was jumping like a frog. And TJ was like, great form, Tina. And she was like, fuck you, TJ, or whatever.
Tina has a love affair with like cussing out TJ.
I just think she's not afraid to clap back. Like some of these challengers aren't, and TJ loves it.
Yeah.
Well, you think of it, she was reminding me of Bananas.
Eat my ass, TJ.
Suck my ass, TJ.
Suck my ass.
But yeah, so that's what it reminded me of. But the thing was watching her do it because she was concerned about her knees, I'm sure, her body. Yeah. And the thing is this with trampolines, you hit it at the wrong angle and you're teeter-tottering back.
Yeah. I don't even know why they were jumping. I would have just ran up that.
And I think some people were doing that.
Yeah.
And they didn't jump into the last.
I'm going to tell you why. This is what I noticed. On the trampoline, hold on.
Like, let me take a shot.
So on the trampoline, it's a circle, right? Yes. If you see, there was a white line going across the top of the circle, and they had to jump from behind that white line.
Oh, okay.
That would keep somebody from running. Oh. Now, I can't prove that, but most likely that's why it's there. That shot was a lot bigger than I initially thought.
So,
do you want some water?
So no, let's down with another shot.
Let's move forward a little bit here, and very predictable. Jody comes out, gets her second daily win. Spoiler alert, and then not spoiler because I don't know what happens this season, but spoiler alert, when you watch a season with Jody on it and they're playing as individuals, she's probably going to win a lot of dailies because that's what Jody does. She's just really
Jody's
good.
Getting on my nerves.
Why?
Really?
I don't know.
This is literally Duel 1 all over again.
This is something about her.
She's the same Jody.
Maybe it's her resting bitch face.
Yeah, that can be. That's fair.
She seems like she's not happy to be there.
Because she ain't happy to be there. She's there to compete. She's there to take all these fuckers' money. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if the final,
it's one thing to look miserable all the time. They make fun of. They talk shit about Cara looking miserable. Now Jody looks like she's being tortured every single minute I see her.
All because people say that doesn't make it true.
Can I?
Okay, well, but she looks miserable.
Can I tell you something? This is really cool.
Sure thing.
These are women on the challenge that get commented a lot on for having like resting bitch face, or they're not like they're not like happy go whatever they're not. Quick names. We're talking Jody. We're talking Cara. We're talking Laurel. We're talking Evelyn. I just named off a lot of greats right there. I mean, we have Sarah's, we have Emily's that are very happy, but I mean, right there, they're there to win
Evelyn
and take your money.
Evelyn rubbed me the wrong way for a lot of her season.
I loved everything about Evelyn.
She's one of my favorites.
She was very mean girl. Very elitist, mean girl in the beginning. And I was like, calm your tits. I was really glad when she lost her first season on Fresh Meat because she really thought really highly of herself.
She was only 18 though, in her defense.
Exactly. She was young. That. I don't get how you didn't like her. I loved everything about Evelyn. And she wasn't afraid to throw it back to the boys.
She grew on me.
Evelyn was one of those competitors that I knew could beat a lot of the boys at a lot of the challenges. If you throw it in the mix,
she would have went into elimination against them. She wouldn't have cared.
Oh, yeah, she almost wanted to half the time.
She can beat a fair amount of boys in a pole wrestle.
Probably.
I wouldn't, And when she was playing. I'll be honest. I started to
Adam
like
King pole wrestle. He's done.
Ew, gross.
I even think there's probably a couple of champs she could probably do that too. I just found her so impressive on a lot of stuff. I think though a lot of the politics and stuff of the game she didn't really jive with, and I think that she's seen herself as doing stuff that was going to be ultimately in the real world more important than doing a challenge.
She's a lawyer.
Yeah, her stint on the challenge was just that, her doing it, trying to, have some fun and make some money. I'll be honest.
And if you ask me, she's the greatest to ever do it.
Listen, I started to like her.
I'm not going to fight with you that. Her and Landon.
More towards the end of her time period with the challenge was Rivals 1 and on is when I really started to enjoy her.
That was her last season. That was her last season.
No, she was. Was that her last season?
That was her final season. She won and left.
If I said Evelyn and Jordan, would you like that?
That way better. You could have said Jordan, Bananas, or CT. Landon does not deserve to be in the conversation of.
Yes, he does.
He really hates Landon. What did Landon do to you?
He doesn't hate Landon. Hurt you? He thinks Landon is overrated.
Hold on a second. Am I watching paint dry or Landon? I really can't tell the difference right now.
Oh my god.
Anyway, moving on.
Don't you love an amazing competitor, but you're upset because he's wallpaper?
Anyways,
let's move on.
Why do you guys keep drilling? I'm trying to have a steady show here and trying to keep us on track.
All right. Right before selection, we got Nehemiah overhearing Steve, who's going into elimination because it's going to be Steve and Jody.
No,
Steve
and Melinda, because Melinda attempted one less jump than Casey.
Exactly. So Steve's going in, but he's talking about his preferable choice would be against Tech. And and Steve has been brought into this Three Kings or the King's Palace Alliance.
He's more so the jester of the group, but he's there.
Exactly, he's there. He just won one number.
Because they need numbers.
This infuriates the King's Palace. Nehemiah Tech, they see it as a betrayal, and they regret bringing him amongst his numbers. When we get down to the selection,
Darrell and Jody won. This was
Thank
also
you. Darrell and Jody
second
won.
Win.
Yes, Darrell wants to throw in Tech. And I'm really glad because at this time, Brad really solidifies putting Jody in his mix because Brad, Darrell, Jody, MJ, and Kohada all got a little alliance going on. So I'm glad that Jody is a full-fledged member of this alliance. And this alliance up against the King's Palace, they definitely got a lot more meat. I mean, when you think about it, outside of Kohada, this is pretty much champions. A champions alliance.
Yep.
That's what it should
I'm really
themselves.
surprised Kohada didn't win the championship.
So what we end up getting to is we get to a situation where they want to burn their life shields. And this is where Ayana and oh my god, who else? Why am I drawing a blank on who else?
They didn't pick another person with the life shield because they weren't worried about him saving anybody. It was Brad who had the life shield.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
So we get the situation where they put Ayana and Tina up there because Jody really wants Tina to go in because she has this rivalry with her that
has been going on for years.
Lasted forever. Yeah. And then we get Tech's name and Tyler's name put up there. And here's the situation. Now, if I'm Ayana, I walk down there and I go, my name's on there, but Tech's name's on there. I don't save myself because I know they want Tina. Also, this is no doubt on her, but if I do get voted in, I'm going up against an injured Melinda. So I would have been like, I'm going to save Tech and screw your whole game up. That's what I would have done in her situation because I feel like...
I agree.
Of course, that's what you would have done. You watched this show. You know these people. How many seasons of the challenge do you think Ayana has really watched?
I don't know. Probably none. To be honest, most of the people I feel like don't watch the show.
Exactly. And some of them are not hip to how the game have evolved or some of the relationships in the game. And those are going to be the people who's going to get knocked out fairly quick. Ayana doesn't have the experience.
If she would have called out Jody and been like, why the fuck are you putting my name up there? This is bullshit. I've already been in. But I'm saying, like, if she would have, like, drilled her to the point where Jody would have caved and been like, I want Tina, not you. But I have to put two names. And then right there, boom, I'll save Tech. Like,
exactly. And then she could have curried some, not only could she have saved Tech and solidify herself into an alliance, she also could have curried a favor. Hey, I'm going to save Tech right now, and the next time you throw my name down in there, I'm going to pick one of your girls out. You know, just something. It was definitely an opportunity to gain more power that was definitely missed. And she just really just threw a hissy fit for it. I thought it was a huge wasted opportunity that's going to benefit Darrell's and Number Alliance a lot more. But Ayana is a beast, and she got him to start playing this game the way the game is supposed to be played. I understand she wants to play honorably. I understand she wants everything to be fair, even though what she did to Sophie was not fucking fair at all.
No,
But you either play this game right, or no matter how big of a beast she is, if she keeps going to elimination, once you
it'll
get
catch
3,
up.
4, 5, it's going to catch up. And you're going to get knocked out on some dumb shit.
So she does save her. She does save herself, which leaves Tech vulnerable. The tribunal, I still call it that, whatever. The winners, they decide to put in Casey as her replacement because she DQ'd, just making it fair, even though they know she's not going in.
She should have gone in. Period.
And then we get to the situation. I think they should have just, like, when 2 people DQ, you should be like, those 2 are in elimination. You only got to vote for guys. Like, that's what they should have done, in my opinion.
Because it to me, the way she DQ'd was so much worse. Like, Melinda, I feel bad for her because she didn't want to quit. She had to go to the hospital. Versus Casey throwing a hissy fit, which I understand, you're freaking out, whatever. But it's just unfair that because she quit versus Melinda being medically DQ'd. I just don't think that.
So we get back in the house. Tina is very pissed off.
Oh, fuck you too.
And Tina grabs her hands.
She turned into Tina.
She
this
turned
is the
into
Tina
Mean Girl
all
Tina.
To see.
And here's the thing about this. I'm not saying it's not just or anything, but like I feel like Tina was like, I'm gonna go back, see some old friends of mine. I'm here to just have a bunch of fun because that's what it seems like. I'm just here. I'm gonna goof around with TJ. I might win a challenge. I don't really care.
It takes a couple of weeks, but shit gets real. And now she's in a highly stressful, highly competitive situation. And even though she's good at the wisecracks, this really isn't for her. As much as I love seeing her on TV, she takes a lot of this stuff personally, which is why we see her act out this way.
She's always done that.
She has, and it's made for good TV. But as she gets older, it becomes a question of weighing of how much is it worth.
Well, when I look around, maybe she was doing shitty stuff in the house. The only person I saw she ever had a bad blood with was Jody.
Yes.
And the fact that everybody turned on her the way it did, I can understand that kind of hurting her feelings.
Well, the pots and pans and making a mess and screaming and yelling. Everybody's older. Nobody has time for that.
Well, that was after they nominated her. That's after she got voted in. And the fact that she's like, I'm going to blow all your shit up. And honestly, and she said it afterwards, she's like, I was so angry before. And that's how I played my game. And that's how I managed to advance myself in the game. I don't want to be that person anymore.
But that's also why she was good TV. If you're not doing that, how interesting is Tina?
She is good TV now, though. She's fun. She's making, she is. She's acting fun.
I'm not taking nothing away from her personality.
Instead of angry.
But as she goes forward into this game, it's going to get grimy. It's going to get backstabby.
Money's bigger nowadays. People start playing this game a lot quicker.
And you got to be able to deal with that and still keep her wonderful, wonderful personality, which is great for TV, but it starts to crack once pressure is being built. She's great for TV, but once pressure is applied, she starts to crack.
I wish that they hadn't. I feel like they were just unfair to her. That's just me.
But she's good, and she gets called out. This is what the women of the show do. They call out the top dogs, and that's just what they do. Jody already went into it, right? Kendall got called into a lot of eliminations last season. That's just what happens. That's how the females play this game. They don't want to go into. They're always looking long term. They're not ever looking short term. It's always long term. If I have to go into elimination, at the end, I want an easy person there. If I have to go into a final, I don't want that good person there. Like that's how they play the game, and they don't play it slow a lot of times and everything. This isn't like a negative or positive thing to how some of the females play this game. That's just how it's done. So what do we get? We get Tech, and we get Tina. Nominated, voted in. We're going down to elimination, and the elimination is called Switchback. Which is each player has 3 sets of skulls that are lit up with a button on their side, kind of in like an X advanced path.
The Red Hot Chili Peppers logo. That's what it was.
Oh, thank you. Good. I was trying to think of what it was. And essentially, players have to run back and forth, turning off their opponent's lights, and then pretty much leaving them down with 0. And this is a pure endurance thing, which is not something. Realistically, unless somebody makes a mistake, which they do, this is never a type of elimination that anybody should ever want to look forward to. Like pole wrestle, sure, you can fight someone from me. A puzzle, cool, but like something like this where it's like we could run for an hour, we could run for 2 hours. Like this isn't exciting. I don't want to do this. but it was entertaining though. Because
it was entertaining because they were pissed.
Well, we saw Tech fucking
Truck sticks, yes. He truck sticks the shit out of Steve.
And
Steve returns the favor.
And returned the favor because he was pissed. And I think he hit Tech harder on the second time.
Yeah, they both got fired.
Well, he got embarrassed because Tech is literally a string bean and Steve is a big bulky guy and he flew.
But
he tossed his ass.
But I wouldn't have expected Tech to do that. I wouldn't expect it at all.
Not at all.
But you know, people who are that size, like he's been that size his entire life, I'm sure. He knows how to throw his weight. You know, that's something you learn when you're always like a skinny mini. You have to figure out how to make what you have work.
So Steve ends up making a critical mistake and he doesn't actually click the button, which he doesn't realize it. And, you know, Tech gets a win. And this is after Steve didn't help out Katie, not saying he should have, but he didn't. She was mad. Karma just kind of came full circle like it does on national TV, even though it's on Paramount Plus.
Close enough. It should be on TV.
But I think actually it's starting to. Like episode 1 on Wednesday played after the challenge actually on MTV. But yeah, and Steve gets sent home. I was surprised. I didn't think it would happen.
Neither did I.
I underestimated Tech though.
Yeah, I did too. And Steven made a critical mistake probably from being tired. So, you know, he's tired, he's sweaty, and, you know, that's when these mistakes come in handy. And this is a pure case of Tech wanted it more than Steven.
Well, Steven obviously was bulkier, which I don't know how much his endurance was up, but you can obviously see that Tech had a longer endurance factor kind of built in. I don't know if Steve being bigger, muscle-wise, caused him to be a bit slower. Like he's more for bodying people, not necessarily for, you know.
Yeah, if it was more physical, then yeah, sure. But this was endurance. Tech came out on top. Move on to the ladies.
So we get to the ladies. TJ blows the horn. Melinda starts going full force, and Tina just kind of to the center, crosses her arms, lets her go, and Melinda gets her first elimination win ever. I think she was 0-4 before this, and she finally gets a win.
This was Tech's first elimination one too.
Yeah, and Tina just whatever. We got this whole narrative of Tina's gonna like fight and gonna come back, and then she's gonna rip everybody's games apart, and we're gonna get this thing. And she's just like, I'm done with this. I don't care. I like my life. Fuck these people. I'm out.
She lives a really great life. I don't really
We've talked about this. Yeah. We talked about this. But
if you're living such a great life, don't come on the show.
I agree.
I think she really thought it was going to be different.
More fun.
And
why?
Because I think she saw more of a reunion situation. Like
$500,000 on the line. Fuck that.
I mean, I get it. I get what you're saying, but I also understand that maybe she was going to go in there and kind of get a clean slate. But yet again,
that's on her. She's still Tina. Somebody else who wanted to be there could have took the spot. I thought it was a total cop out. You owe it to the people who pay for Paramount Plus, for the people who support the challenge. You owe it to Melinda to go out there and compete the way that this show is set up. The show is set up for people competing. You just sitting there trying to make a statement about you not being happy about what you're becoming. You should have acknowledged this before you even took the plane right out there. This isn't the time to make a statement. This isn't the time. You're supposed to go out there and compete. She did Melinda no favors besides getting her to stay, and she did the challenge no favors by taking up a spot and going home. It was needless. It was her on her high horse. I like Tina as a TV personality, but this was total fucking bullshit.
I mean, she did go out in an elimination, though. So, like, she didn't just, like, walk up and leave. And then now as fans, I don't know. Like, that's, like, if you're going to quit, that's the best time to quit outside of just saying no to production. And I agree. I agree that I think that she thought it was going to be more of a reunion, more fun. I don't think she thought the game was going to be this serious, but like you said, the money. And that's a hard thing if you're not used to, like when normally you're playing for Burger King Whoppers and a T-Mobile Sidekick, it's a lot different when you're playing for $1 million. You don't really understand it and everything. So
I was watching Fresh Meat and they had a slider flip phone with a 1-year T-Mobile service. And I was like, oh my God.
Nowadays,
that's what
a year-long phone
have.
plan, that'd be like I don't know what the new iPhones are. I've never had one, but that's like an iPhone i8s25 or whatever, a full year subscription with $1,000 phone, I'd love that. That'd be killer.
Right?
But
That'd be
sorry,
awesome.
sorry.
No, it's okay. iPhone 13 starts off at $800. Comes up to
There
about
you go.
$27 and change a month.
Sorry.
For 24 months.
Wait. What's the internal memory on the $800 one?
All of the base starts off at 128 gigabytes. And they're all going to come with a cinematic mode.
Finally.
Which is going to have rack focus.
I just use these.
I don't know what that is.
It's a
I was going to say it's incognito.
I've never used anything. No, I've never.
Samsung, baby.
I have a Samsung Galaxy Note 9 and I have a iPhone 13 Pro.
So that's the situation. We have Tet getting a win, gets a life shield. Melinda gets a life shield. The King's Palace now has 2 life shields.
Yes, and at the end of the episode, they made it very clear that they are in an alliance. And Brad points out, he's like, wow, I've never seen somebody broadcast that they're in an alliance so blatantly. And I'm just like, oh, you probably have, but...
What's funny about that, though, is like Brad is like actually in the alliance as well, but he's just more in the other alliance. Like Brad is the most protected. I know he's went into elimination.
He's playing both sides.
I don't think he's like trying to. I just think it's natural.
He's in the alliance with Darrell and MJ and Kohada and but him and Nehemiah also have a really good relationship. So he's just going to milk that as much as it's worth.
Talk about full circle.
Right?
But then again, I guess if somebody beat my ass on national TV, I'd probably be best friends with them too.
Don't do it again.
Moving on. Next episode, you got Tech and Melinda coming back from the house. They're all dancing and celebrating.
Mm-hmm.
And I really love seeing LT this episode. Because LT is dancing and singing. He's like, look at me. Do I look like the type that'll be dancing and all this other bullshit? He's so fucking intense and I love it.
Can I say something? All-Stars won. Couldn't care for Letarian. Didn't really like him there. Thought he was too intense and it seemed facetious. No, just his personality. He's just a very intense dude at everything he does. And I'm actually liking it and it's growing on me. I don't know what it is, but it really is growing on me.
I love his intensity. Not a whole bunch on the A block for this. We got Kendall calling home, and it's really dope because this will come into place later on during the daily about her swimming and her kids are swimming. You get to see her 3 boys talk to her husband, and it's always great when Kendall gets some camera time. We also got Tyler feeling like he's on the hot seat, and he should because his name is brought up a lot of times. And his name is brought up in ways that people just like, oh, vote in Tyler. People are not going to vote for Tyler. They're going to vote for other people. So we get to the daily. Today's daily is going to be in pairs. Today's daily is going to be called Deep Dive. So pretty much there's 4 buoys and they all got treasure chests. They all got to dive 15 feet to get the treasure chest. Surprisingly, and this is very surprising to me, mostly everybody does pretty fucking well. Jasmine and Casey are the only ones who use the ladder. You got to jump 30 feet or you could climb down to the ladder to do 15 feet. And was there anything about this daily that really stuck out to you guys? I really love the fact that Tyler was trying so hard, but he got paired with Jasmine, so shit wasn't really that great for him.
Kahada stole Casey from him. That was kind of funny.
Tyler is such a good partner. He is such a good partner. And I know there's like personal stuff, whatever, that people know and don't like about him. I don't know any of that stuff. But like when he's on the show, I think he is
stuff about Tyler?
Personal stuff, I guess. Yeah, there's stuff but that has nothing to do with the challenge itself. But in the challenge though, he's one of the best partners. He's always a true loyal friend. Like he never backstabbed Paula. Even though Paula was always going off trying to like be with the other guys, he was always there for her when she came crying back and needed him and everything.
Oh my God. He screwed him over so many times.
But he never really was worried about that and everything because it's his girl and they're friends. And that shows here when he was like, Casey, you're right by me. Do you have any partners? She's like, yeah. And then all of a sudden she gets taken and he goes, Jasmine, do you have a partner? Instead of like, fuck, I'm with Jasmine. I'm the last person. He asked her, do you have a partner? No. They became partners, even though he knew she'd have a partner. I don't understand. This had to do with a lot of swimming. Tyler is probably top 3 swimmers of all time in challenge history. I don't understand
why he wasn't picked up almost immediately.
Right away. I don't know why anybody wasn't just jumping
his swimming skills alone dictated that he should be pretty much a number 1 draft pick. He's probably the best swimmer in the whole entire house. The fact that he was there struggling for a partner is almost ridiculous.
I'm really surprised. I mean, I understand. Ayana wanted to pick Tet because she wants to look at him. Cool,
But
get
still.
it. Not no, I'm not even gonna fault that. Like that's cool. Jody picked Brad because they are a twosome in this house. Okay, cool. And then after that, Melinda and Nehemiah. Yep, makes sense. In
But
their own
but but
season.
here goes the fucked up thing is, how is Tyler, the number one swimmer, and this is a swimming daily, his choice of partners are, and I don't say this to be mean, are the two worst competitors in the house, in Jasmine and Casey.
Yeah, I'm really surprised. I
Any
thought maybe
female-
like John A would have walked over there. That'd have been a perfect
Any
team.
other female who goes in there wins this daily.
Yep.
I am surprised though that John A didn't work with him because they do have a really close relationship. At least that's what it seems on screen. Is Tyler's really close to a lot of these ladies, and they kind of are just like, bye,
Well,
Tyler.
Johnny's a good swimmer too.
And she's teamed with MJ. MJ's no slouch.
Which is, compared to most of these guys when it comes to swimming, I would say he's probably at the bottom. I'd probably put him and MJ and Tech at the bottom when it comes to like these swimming challenges. I'd say Kahada's a better swimmer. Oh, good, Darrell's at the bottom too.
Tech doesn't even know how to swim, does he?
I mean, I don't know. He does. But I would say Brad, Tyler, Kahada, Nehemiah, like Latarian, I would take all those guys over MJ, hands down. And it was very weird.
Yeah, but off the top of her head, she probably think that he's not going to, perform so badly. But
or
anyway,
MJ probably just grabbed her. To be honest, I feel like a lot of these are like the guys like, yo, you're with me.
Yeah.
Like,
so, Darrell and Janelle gets the win, and it looks like Tyler and Jasmine are going straight to elimination. But Kendall did take a hard fall. And I'm not going to lie. I this may be because I fanboy over Kendall so hard, but like when she took that first jump, the first one to go at 30 feet off, I was like, oh, look at her, so brave.
But like with a life vest too, she didn't even hesitate. It was like horn gone. But like with the life vest, I was like, I would have rather thrown my life vest down, jumped, and then thrown it on. You know what I mean?
I truly believe Kendall can go on a regular show challenge and kick a lot of fucking ass.
Yep.
I really think she can.
She's a lot stronger than the newer crop of girls that are coming out.
Yeah, she's brave. I think the only thing she really needs to work on is maybe a little bit more of a political game, getting some alliances within the house. I think that'd be her only pitfall, but if she's able to accomplish that, and she is pretty affable. People like her. She is easy to like. I know maybe some people in the house are going to be rubbed the wrong way, but if she can get over that or at least get herself in a decent alliance, I think she'll kick a whole lot of ass.
I was going to say, last season she was not popular at all. Everybody
But that's because she's
like,
good.
Yeah, exactly.
It's because she's good. And these people get outcast because the females do, because they're good.
Stupid.
You said it a million times. The females play, oh my God, this person is strong. We need to get him out as soon as possible. And the guys say, this guy is strong. We need to run a final with him.
Because like if I was listing off like a little bio, this is like a quick bio, not deep dive. Oh, this is Kendall. She's just likes to have fun. She doesn't try to talk shit about anybody. She does yoga. She's into she likes the Seahawks, and she's likes to run. I'd be like, oh, okay. Why would I hate this person? There's nothing that would make me in a house outside of she's better than me. That's the only thing.
Kendall looks like a very genuine, sweet person. Like
she does, but she competes like a motherfucker, and I can see why people are scared of her for that.
And
jealousy, she smiles so much.
Jealousy is real.
She's happy.
I don't trust that girl. She's smiling all the time.
Let me see. Jealousy is a disease, and misery loves company.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
But she gets hurt. It's very scary, and she actually battles through all of this pain. She finishes, and they do pretty well. Not surprising.
Because Kendall's got strength.
What is surprising is most of the people did really well on this daily.
Yep.
Were you guys? I was kind of surprised. I was expecting. I mean, some people took a lot longer on the puzzle, but it looks like everybody finished, and it looks like everybody did pretty well.
Who took a really long time? Was it Tyler and Jasmine? They took a really long time.
Yeah, on the puzzle, yeah.
And then they did production did them dirty. Like Tyler did not deserve that, and production did them so dirty, and everybody was like, oh, and I was like, come. First of all, Tyler probably finished his and was standing on that rock for like 5 minutes before Jasmine even got it done.
He just got stuck with a partner that was really, really weak. And I like Jasmine as a personality and as a character, but she's
not the strongest competitor. And
she's not the one I would choose to be partnered with.
No, but she's almost kind of like the first big T. She made a lot of good TV. She would act, really, really. I mean, and Big T isn't like super wild or whatever, but she's there for a lot of reasons. But being a super, she competes, but she's not a very good competitor.
Another moment too we don't talk about.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say sorry to cut you guys off and everything. We didn't talk about this. Tech almost freaking could have broken him and Ayana. Like that could have been bad. They jumped like simultaneous almost, and he like
he almost landed right on her head. Yeah, that was wild. But you know what? All's well that ends well. Once you're in the water, you disperse or swim it away. So that came out really, really well. Moving on.
Tech's really showing up this season. I'm actually really, really proud of him. Yeah, because he usually doesn't show this strong.
Exactly. I think he's way better than how he came in last season. A little bit more prepared. But Brad and Jody gets the win. Tyler and Jasmine is going into elimination, and TJ has a twist for us, and I don't like it.
So stupid.
Neither do I.
TJ says everybody who is partner up now, this is going to be your partner until the end of the season, and that's fucking stupid. That is stupid.
Yes.
Why did they not?
The whole dynamic.
Why did TJ not walk up to all the girls with tokens in a bag of all the guys' names, and they pick their partners at random if you're going to do this? Because this is not, there's literally a team right now that has Brad and Jody on it. Like that is not, and then there's literally a team that has Tyler and Jasmine. Like that is not balanced, fair at all. And I don't understand. I don't understand the concept of this. I don't.
Not at all. And everybody's battling for $500,000.
Well, people came into this not knowing that they were going to be partnered permanently. Obviously, if everybody knew that this was like your permanent partner, I'm sure Tyler would have definitely fought for somebody else.
Yeah, people would have chose differently.
So, I mean, I think and it's for the drama factor. It's because there's so many twists on the original season that now they're trying to push twists on this one, which is really irritating. I'm not a fan of this. I think it's entirely unfair. They should have announced this prior, so people were able to make more educated decisions.
Absolutely. Tyler?
Huh?
Yeah, same thing.
No, yeah, just yeah. I'm saying,
Ditto.
I kind of let us off, but like, let's move on.
All right. Brad drops Kendall's name and puts in Johnny and MJ because he knows they're not going to get voted in, which is a very smart move. Even MJ says that like this is the first time I'm voted in. That I actually feel pretty safe. Anyway, when we get to selection, Darrell voted for MJ and Johnny, which I thought was pretty cool because he knew his vote didn't count. He didn't want to vote in another real worlder. And road ruler, which I thought was nice. And here goes something we don't give enough credit for. Sometimes people won't say other people's names just off of general purposes, just off of GP. And I really love to see that every once in a while. Even though I think what Darrell did was total posturing, I thought it was kind of nice to see. Was there any other times where somebody voted or somebody wouldn't say somebody's name, even though it's obvious they're going in, that really stuck out to you guys? Like, we've seen it over the years. Somebody just like, I know this person is going in because they already have 16 votes, but I would never say their name.
Yeah. I mean,
and they say, and they
Cara
burn
with
vote.
Laurel on Free Agents when everybody was voting in Laurel, and she was like, "Nope, I'm not going to say the name."
And that's a nice moment, and it usually is. But ultimately,
Johnny and Jasmine did it on Rivals 1, and like they were like one of the last votes, and they like voted somebody else, and everybody was like, "Why would you do that? You just put targets on your back." And they were like, "Because they're our friends. Why would we vote them in?" I don't remember which vote it was. It was towards the end, and then like I think Johnny was like, it was like an interview and like a confessional. She was like, "You guys are gonna throw us in next anyways, so why are you yelling at us for who we voted for?" It's like a weird. This is why I do believe the Cutthroat is one of my favorite seasons to watch because voting is private. I mean, it's kind of public, but it's private because like the results and you kind of hear how many people get votes because they drop that, but you don't have this this domino effect of like, well, those 5 just said this person, so I might as well say that person.
Yeah,
and you can get everybody getting votes.
It really depends on the format because, I mean, One of my favorite things is, from this current season is if you get voted down, you get to call out who you want. But sometimes voting should be private. Sometimes it should be public. It changes the dynamic of the game, and it should definitely be considered heavily when they're deciding on the themes of the season. But moving on, we get down to elimination. Everybody votes for Kendall and LT to go in. As we seen that was going to go. They call him down. Tyler and Jasmine comes down. LT comes out, but no Kendall. She had to go to the hospital. Some of her ribs and her breathing was strained. And she's not going to be able to continue the game. She has been medically DQ'd, which is fucking heartbreaking.
I know, it sucks.
Fucking heartbreaking. I really had Kendall pegged to win this whole thing.
Me
if
too.
If anybody was gonna put like a run against a Jody in an individual aspect, it was her.
Yes. Ayana's cool, but she's really an elimination specialist at this time. I think when it's all said and done, she probably couldn't hang in the final.
Long distance? No, I don't think so. I mean, she's not going to quit.
I mean, she used to be a runner, but, that was a long time ago. I really had Kendall pegged to win this whole thing. I was rooting for her. It was really heartbreaking to see her go down.
I think Kendall's such a well-rounded competitor. And it is very sad. Because like you said, I don't know, maybe it's been a long time since I've seen Jody, but I do believe that I think Kendall could have beat her in the end. And I'm so sad. Because I wanted to see Kendall win. I really did.
Me too. I think Kendall could beat a lot of people.
What's messed up is Tyler and Jasmine are only in elimination because of Jasmine. And now Jasmine gets to be exempt from elimination. And I'm not saying she shouldn't have been because, like, how else would you do? You pulled on another team and it's too late. I don't know. It's whatever. But Tyler has to go into a pole wrestle against Letarian. And last time he was in a pole wrestle, he beat the shit out of Ace. And this pole wrestle doesn't look any better. That structure does not look something like a pole is different because you can like maneuver it against your body, but that thing. So pole wrestle comes out, really weird structure, but whatever. It doesn't matter. I guess they're trying to evolve to be different. I do think it's kind of cool. There's different ways to hold it and everything. Here's the thing. We're just gonna I'm not gonna fast forward. I'm gonna fast track this and everything. I thought Tyler would have been able to hold his ground up more and be more dominant. He fought his ass off, but holy shit, Letarian is a dog in that ring. And I don't know if there's anybody, Letarian, if you don't, so you have to look at the afterwards, but like Tyler's like hand is all wrapped and everything. He's got bruises. Like he beat him up more than he beat up Ace. And Tyler's like heavier, way heavier than Ace. Yeah. Cause like he couldn't get it from him for like the longest time. So he just finally was like, fine, I'm gonna pick you up and just slam you.
Well, I mean, Tyler's scrappy. That's the thing.
Tyler was pretty clumsy when the whistle blows, the horn blows.
Last one, let's get this finished up.
Falls down right away and like look into his face is like, oh no, I'm going down. But he doesn't quit. But then Letarian is
well, the thing is it's kind of like football. You know, when your quarterback's getting tackled, you want to hang on to that ball. You don't want to drop the ball.
He hangs on.
So he hangs on to the pole. It might not have been the best decision for him because he probably got wrecked. But you know what? At the end of the day, he can hold his head up. Because he fought.
Here goes the funny thing is, you're always Mr. They pick out these eliminations beforehand.
This motherfucker gonna kill me.
Was this them setting up Tyler to lose?
Okay. So, Letarian beats the shit out of Tyler. And I've officially deemed Letarian as that dude. There's not a single person that I think could go into elimination. I think he would take Brad's money in a pole wrestle. I think he'd dominate Darrell in a pole wrestle. I think he's so tough upper body because he picks up Tyler and just slams him. And the afterwards effects are he wins. Tyler's hand is all wrapped up. Tyler's got bruises on his face. I'm sure Tyler couldn't get out of bed the next day and was too tired to... Dude, so saying that maybe they tailored this to LT, I could see where you're saying that, but like it was also going to be, I guess then it could have been Kendall versus Jasmine. So I mean, yeah, that's a team they'd want to keep. What you're saying, okay, I'm just saying I get where you're kind of coming from in that aspect. I don't think this was just because they're both physical. I'm gonna say this though, if you kind of one of those people that like when you watch the challenge and like the elimination's over, you kind of just like, all right, cool, next thing and you're out. Go back and rewatch Letarian's like victory speech and I was like, let's go. Like, I want to fucking, like, who wants me now? Like that guy, he could be my life coach, and I would strive, man.
Anything else to cover from All Stars before we go ahead and get out of here and start working on the actual final?
No,
for season 37?
We're just really impressed with Letarian. And I'm actually really impressed with Tyler as well. So.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I did a great job as the step-in host for this as well. You said you were proud of Tyler, so thank you very much.
Wow.
Yeah, okay.
And that's going to do it for us here, covering All Stars episode 5 and 6. Be sure, hit that subscribe button down below here if you're watching on YouTube. I don't know how you view YouTube. Hit that like button. Drop a comment with your favorite moment. Also, view us on every audio platform out there. We're probably there. You can catch us. LWC Podcast, Love War Challenges Podcast, everything. Also, Malik does some other cool things too. What else do you do, Malik? Tell them.
Well, thank you so much, Tyler. I'll take it from here. Thank you all for watching. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at LWC Podcast. Follow us on Facebook and TikTok at Love War Challenges. You can copy your official Love War Challenges gear at shop.lwcpodcast.com, and our website is lwcpodcast.com. Get your customizable challenge gear at shopthechallenge.com, and listen to Love War Challenges on Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app. Tyler?
For those watching on YouTube, what would one of those like custom challenge shirts look like by chance? Do you happen to have a sample on you right now?
I actually do.
Oh, that is clean. Like that is clean. That's clean. I didn't even know that. I was just asking. I was just, saying whatever.
You didn't know you actually were wearing your challenge t-shirt.
That's going to do it for us.
Shout out to the Unbothered.
Yes,
Facebook
big shout out
group.
big shout out to the Unbothered Facebook group and podcast. Love those guys over there. Keep doing your thing. Big shout out to Gamer Vet.
I was going to say,
That's
shout out to
gonna do
Gamer.
it for us. I am MTV Malik. He is Tyler Louder. She is the best of us. Becky at Gift Master Bex. This is Love War Challenges. Thank you for listening to our speed run. We are done. Good night.